Most people agree that we should stop burning imported fossil fuels for energy. What people tend to disagree on is the cost of implementing renewable energy. Some feel that the best strategy for Florida is to do nothing because the initial cost of renewable energy seems too high. But in fact, renewable energy actually costs less over the long term compared to doing nothing. The initial cost of renewables needs to be seen as an investment. Just as sending a student to college is an investment, the long-term benefits far outweigh the upfront costs. So, how do we get there? The first step to a sustainable energy future is to increase the energy efficiency of our homes. By reducing the amount of energy we use in our homes, we can reduce our energy costs and have more money for the things we enjoy. Energy retrofits are an excellent example of investing for the future. These improvements pay for themselves over time, and as the cost of electricity increases, so do the savings from the retrofits. For example, by 2020, energy retrofits can save an estimated 56% per month off of our electricity bill. To achieve this level of savings, starting from the most cost-effective, we should install a programmable thermostat. Next, fix leaky ducts, install compact fluorescent lighting, insulate hot water storage tanks, upgrade ceiling insulation, use an Energy Star refrigerator, install a solar water heater, and use a more energy-efficient air conditioner. For example, homeowner A retrofits his house, while homeowner B chooses to do nothing. If we tally up their mortgage and electricity costs over the next 10 years, we find that homeowner A actually has paid less than homeowner B. Not only has homeowner A spent less money, he has also increased the value of his home, emitted less greenhouse gases, employed local workers, and stimulated the local economy. Let's take a look at the numbers. Using the previous example, if 3% of the homes in Florida are retrofitted each year, by 2020, each home will save $1,536 per year. A total of $285 million in energy cost savings for the 186,000 retrofitted homes, and a savings of 1.05 million tons of CO2. Each year, we will generate $3.8 billion in new economic activity, 42,000 direct jobs, and 15,000 indirect jobs. The next step to sustainability is renewable power generation. Currently, we import all of our fossil fuels that are used to generate electricity. This results in $15 billion being shipped out of state each year. If we could instead use one of Florida's natural resources to produce electricity, it would put that $15 billion back into Florida's economy. Why not use the energy source that is renewable, clean, and has no fuel costs? Sunshine. Of course, this is when the argument comes up that solar electric panels are too expensive. Currently, electricity from photovoltaics or PV panels is more expensive than electricity obtained from burning imported fossil fuels. But in a few short years, something very interesting is going to happen. It's called grid parity. Grid parity is simply the point in time when the falling costs of PV equals the rising cost of conventional electricity. From that point on, PV becomes the electricity producer of choice, and the idea of burning fossil fuels for electricity just doesn't make economic sense. The large debate focuses on when grid parity will be reached. Estimates range from 2 years to 10 years, but grid parity is inevitable. That's great, you may think. Let's wait until we reach grid parity and then buy PV when it's less expensive. The only problem with that idea is that PV manufacturers are currently looking for locations to build their manufacturing plants. Naturally, they are picking states that have a large demand for their products. If Florida doesn't create a market demand for PV before grid parity is reached, we will only be trading our imported fossil fuels for imported PV panels. We will miss out on billions in revenue and economic activity occurring from new jobs and the opportunity to export Florida-made PV panels around the world. By investing in solar energy now, we bring new manufacturers to Florida, creating economic benefits that far outweigh the initial investment. When you stop focusing only on the initial cost and focus on the long-term energy and economic security, it's plain to see that renewable energy in Florida ultimately costs far less than doing nothing.